Hello and welcome to today's reading. So today I'm going to do a timeless reading that is from the Tarot Mirror of the Soul book, and I haven't done this one before. I'm going to do the internal balancing system. So you can this is a reading, but also you can use this for your own learning as well. So first you would mix the cards, and when you feel you're ready, you can pop them into two piles. And when you do the two piles, you decide which is passive and which is active. So these are the two piles. So I'm going to say this one is the passive and this one is the active. So the passive, you would have the top card in position 2 and the bottom card in position 3. And from the active side, you would have the top card in position 5 and the bottom in position 4. Then you get the cards together again and you mix them again. And it says to fan them out face down. So I'm just going to do that here. And then I'm going to pick 2 more cards. Okay. So I just realised in the book it says positive card. So it's I thought it was you were reading 2, but it's not. So if it's a positive card, it's how I present myself to the world. And if there's a negative card in this position, it's how I prevent communication. So that's for number 1, which is the head here. And then number 6 is for relationships here. And that's, if there's a positive card, it's how do I maintain harmonic, fulfilling, satisfying relationships. And if it's a negative card, why my relationships may be dissatisfying or lacking in harmony. So number 1 here we're going to turn over. So this is number 1. This is number 2. These are our receptive sides. This is number 3. And this is number 4. And number 5. And number 6. I just want to make sure that's actually in view. So we'll go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, so head is communication. And I would say the Empress is a positive card. So how we present ourselves to the world. And number 2 is our self-worth, how we accept ourselves. Number 3 is what learning processes help you grow internally. Number 4 is how my being appears outwardly. And number 5 is how I deal with the world, which are like your actions and behaviors. And number 6 is relationships. So I would say this is a lot of cards. It's like people say they're negative or positive, but I think both have all cards have like a shadow and a light aspect to them anyway. So let's begin. So for the Empress here, so how you present yourself to the world. So the Empress, she's like the divine mother. So she's all about beauty, giving and receiving love. Her hand is open. She is receptive. She's also looking to the future, but she's kind of looking behind her, and there's a bird up there in the corner. I'm not sure. It might be a dove. So, peace, love, balance. We've got the swan here as well. So in the back of this book, which I love, there is keywords as well, which I think is really useful. I don't think it has one in it, but I'll just show you there. There's like a couple of pages and it's got little keywords. So if you come across lots of symbolism that's kind of shown, quite often through the cards, there's a lot of symbolism in this deck. It can kind of help you build up that, that knowing and that just by looking through. So the colours on the card, obviously we have a lot of blue and a lot of green and pink. So, you know, blue is about, you know, wisdom, and like the spiritual kind of communication. So I'd say the Empress, with this being how you present yourself to the world, I'd say you're showing yourself in more of maybe your feminine aspect. You're being open to love, which is a really good thing. With the green, I'll say you're using your creativity to kind of birth something new. This can also be the mother card. So you could be a mother. So there's also a lot about, you know, the beauty, beauty and power, about our self-love and our self-worth as well. So this is what you are showing, and I think that's beautiful. And I love that we've got, you know, the Queen of Discs at the bottom as well, because she's also someone, you know, who looks after her body and takes care of herself. So I love how we've got this and being reflected at the top and the bottom of the cards. And the number 2, we have the Chariot. So this is your self-worth and how you accept yourself. So with this being the Chariot, I would say this is about accepting yourself through knowing that you do have all you need within you. You know, you have strong will, and there's something within you where you are ready to create and expand something, but you need to accept yourself by giving yourself that kind of space that you need for your inner transformation. You are trying to find clarity, and there is a spiritual path and a new phase of your life that is ready for you to begin. So it is about being ready for a journey. But for this period of time, it's about, you know, preparing and doing the groundwork first, not rushing, because I think a lot of us, we can get ahead of ourselves sometimes, where we're so engaged in the activities that fulfill us that we actually forget about all of the important human aspects around us. Just by being and living in the present moment, we can be off in our heads sometimes, where we have so many desires of things we want and things we don't have now, that can stop us actually being in the present moment with all the loved ones and the friends and family we have around us, or whatever activity it is you're doing. I think it's knowing that wherever you are, you have spirit inside you. And obviously, as this is, you know, Cancer is about the home and the family, I would say your self-worth and how you accept yourself is, maybe you don't need all of this armor. You know, maybe it's okay to kind of reveal who you are. Maybe it's about, you know, gaining that confidence, knowing, you know, focusing your mind on what it is you're intending, trying not to get caught up in, you know, in worries or, you know, fear, that kind of thing, because I think that leads nicely to the next card, which is number 3, which is which learning processes help you grow internally. So where we've been, you know, looking within, doing the groundwork, this one, although a lot of people think the 7 of Pentacles is like a negative card, it's, you know, for this, it's like fear of failure. So this doesn't necessarily reflect reality, but it's obviously through this process that's helping you grow internally. So this is Saturn in Taurus. So again, this is, you know, restriction, but like on the earthly plane as well. This could be like fear of doing the wrong thing, and kind of like, you know, fears to move forward, as you think you don't know the right direction yet, but know that all is the right direction. What you're doing right now is what you're supposed to be doing in this now moment. I think with negative expectations of the worst, we're doing this where we're expecting the worst. This can be quite dangerous because your thought has extreme power. So just by you expecting the worst, you can create this reality. So for this being what's helping you grow internally, it's perceiving and recognizing the fear and accepting it, so you can actually move through this. You know, try and really think about what it is that is actually really worrying you. You know, because this is the learning process to overcome. Really get honest with yourself and really face those fears. You know, as it's a 7, the 7s in most of the things are, you know, there are kind of a challenge point where we're kind of going back, we're going up to the 10, to the end of the cycle, but number 7 seemed to be like a tricky time. But just the perception and recognizing it means you are ready to let this go. And it's through these processes, through these restrictions, through these kind of points and worries and fears of, you know, things like failure, that once we've integrated this, we can see this for the lesson that it is, and that it can help us move forward in a more whole way, because we're actually aware now of what it is we're scared of. So that's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. So number 4 is this one. So it's how your being appears outwardly. So with the Princess of Swords, she, as you can see, she's got her sword and she looks like she's fighting. So she looks like she's been, well, it doesn't look like there's any people around her, but it looks like she's like ready, you know, ready to combat anything. So with the Princess of Swords, how you're appearing outwardly, I would say you're probably showing yourself as a bit of a rebel, that you don't want to be repressed. You're very true to yourself and what you want. You are willing to kind of cut through any BS. You know, like if people are kind of approaching you and giving you crap, you're probably one of those people who isn't going to take it, kind of like me. But by doing this, you're just, it looks like she's destroying stuff, but to kind of get rid of the old to make way for something new in her life. So I think this is about, you know, standing up for what you believe in and using all of your creativity and the power of your mind to arrive at that clarity that you're trying to gain. So that's how you're appearing outwardly. I love the Princess of Swords. So number 5 is this one. So we have a 5 and a 5. So this is Strife. One thing I heard on I think it was Tarot podcast the other day was when Aleister Crowley came up with this, it was also about not just strife but striving. So I found that interesting. So I was like, yeah, because not all the cards that we get are you know, a negative or positive. There can be the striving towards something isn't necessarily a bad thing. You know, this is how you're dealing with the world through your actions and your behaviors. So through this, I would say there could be some kind of unfulfilled desire, something that's restricting you. Again, something that you're fearing. Again, maybe the fear of failure here. And you may be trying really hard to find an answer, find clarity. You may be working really hard to achieve something, but you might be putting too much pressure on yourself to achieve. I know I've been there. Very much trying to like really work hard, you know. If you're overworking, you know, or you're trying to find an answer to something, you're trying to find the clarity, this can kind of get to a point where it actually feels very overwhelming and you feel like you're never going to know the right direction. But there isn't I just don't think, just through all of the things I've learned since I've been on this journey, is that there is no right direction. We put the pressure on ourselves. Essentially, our souls come here to experience, to have lessons of all different shapes and forms. But I think sometimes we come here and we think we're supposed to achieve something miraculous, or, you know, we put so much pressure on ourselves that I must have this certain thing, otherwise I'm a failure. And no, you're not. I think it's a lot more simple than that. A lot of us come here, you know, it's about learning how to self-actualize, and learning and knowing you are actually free, and that you have the power to make any choices that can move you towards a place of fulfillment. But a lot of us put that on external factors. We think a lot of it is like, when I have this house, I'm going to be complete. When I have this money, I'll be fulfilled. Really, a lot of it is when we're striving towards something, a lot of the times it's about finding that center and knowing that we have all we need really inside of us. It's about knowing that we have our own inner teacher, our own inner wisdom, our own inner guide, and there is no right or wrong. So, it's about not putting that pressure on yourself. This is Saturn in Leo, like I said. So, Saturn is like restriction, but also it's about going one step at a time, and all things come in the right time when they're meant to. So there is no wrong path. So try to take that pressure off of yourself and know that all directions bring you to where your soul essentially wants to go. And I think we're the ones who overcomplicate it with our logical mind. We're not living from our intuition and our instincts. We're putting so much pressure on ourselves to reach a certain goal or milestone that actually it's a lot more simpler than what we're making it out to be. So hopefully that helps there. So our number 6 is relationships. So how do you maintain harmonic, fulfilling, satisfying relationships? And that is by being in the Queen of Discs energy. So with the Queen of Pentacles, or the Queen of Discs, she has been on a, I think you can see in this card, there's like a long path here. So she's been on a long journey. It kind of looks like the desert. So like there's barren, there's nothing there. But where she is, it looks like there's lots of plant life, and like, this looks like, an abundance of things after a lot of, a long path that may have been difficult for her. She's looking back to the past, maybe where she's kind of like thinking about all of the things she's gone through. But she's now at a period where she can rest. So this is about looking after yourself, giving yourself physical nourishment, things that satisfy you, whether that's, with mind, body and soul, anything that you love to do that makes you feel at peace, that makes you feel loved. Where she has overcome a lot, and she's looking back, she's at a period of time now where she can be in the Empress energy. So I think that's what this is about. It's about knowing that inside of you have Empress energy that you are embodying. You're at a period of time where you are planning and preparing for something, but this is about letting yourself be led by spirit, trying to take the armor off, being honest with yourself and your fears and your feelings, perceiving these so you can be ready to let it go. Trying not to strive towards something or putting too much pressure on yourself, and just taking, once you've got that plan, one step at a time, trying to put down that sword, use it for the good of all, allowing that clarity to come through, cutting through the BS of people around you that you don't need, that aren't helping you on your journey, knowing that you have all you need inside of you to move forward in a way that fulfills and satisfies you. But I think it's a lot more simpler than you think. Just remember already what you have around you. What are you grateful for? The fact you have a roof over your head, the fact you have food in the fridge. Do you have a car? Do you have a bike? Whatever. Can you get from A to B? Do you have friends around you? All of these things that make our life fulfilling and what they are, it is a lot simpler than what we think sometimes. So also, I have had to record this again because I forgot to do the angel number and our spirit animal. So I'll do that now. So apologies for that. So that is our number. So we have 1010. It's up to you. Moderation, patience, flow, clarity, joy, movement, self-realization, taking action, unconditional love. It's time to put those long cherished ideas into action. You will soon come into contact with the appropriate individuals, circumstances, and resources. Eventually, you will experience joy as well as brand new opportunities. Trust in the process. Yes, trust in the process. Oh, this one wanted to come out before. And we have Ladybug. Good luck. You are a bright energy. Let worry go and be happy here and now. Feel good about being a loving and colourful you. You bless the world with colour and good luck. Oh, I love that. Yeah, so let go of worry and be happy here and now. Be in the present moment. All is as it should be. Well, thank you, and until next time, bye.